Hey everybody, how are you? This is Jason Whitney
and Callie Whitney
with 3 Believe Wellness Program, coming at you with great information, helpful tips, some cutting edge science, and a good time. How are you?
Let us know if you can hear us, see us, making sure everything's working correctly, and we can get started.
Technology is a great thing, but it's kind of like teenagers. They don't always come through. Sometimes they forget. They have well and good intentions, but they mess up once in a while. So right there on the right side of the screen, just write a text. Can you say text on a webinar?
Or
a comment. Just write a comment saying, hey, we see you, we hear you. Don't say how much better Callie looks than me. Just leave that for a private email, and let's get started on our program.
Yes, let's do.
So every week we come to you with great information, some useful tips and science. We like to call the 3 Believe Wellness Program. And the reason why we come to you, the permission slip, if you will, that we have is I dedicated my professional career to this topic. I'm a food scientist that specializes in the treatment of chronic disease and metabolic syndrome, which is, it's rampant. Everywhere we look, it seems to be. Where we started 11 years ago is working with doctors and clinics for those professionals that wanted a different alternative to traditional medicine, which was medication and surgeries. And so we treat their patients, their diabetics, those that have weight issues, obesity, heart disease, any chronic illness, because that is where it starts. With a chronic disease. Now, some people ask us, why did we start with doctors? Well, because that's where kind of the same reason that bank robbers go to the bank. That's where the money is. That's where the sick people were. Now, of course, the U.S. population from the CDC tells us that, sadly, 79% of Americans are overweight. And that number is growing, as are all of these numbers. 37% so far have high cholesterol. 46% have high blood pressure. And these numbers are actually larger than this. These statistics are already 5 years old. The CDC doesn't do them every single year, but 15% are diabetic. 25 to 32% have fatty liver, and that's a sad ratio or percentage, because that's where metabolic syndrome starts. Is you don't actually start to see it on the outside, you start to see it through a fatty liver. And when you look out amongst matter of fact, as a recent study I just read, of all Americans that are not overweight, these are people that are not heavy, 32% of them have a fatty liver. That's terrible. So this fatty liver ratio actually is going to be higher than that in the next CDC report. The people that we care about, our family, our work, the people we work with, our neighbors, all of them have, all of them experience in one way or another, whether it's for themselves or the people that they love or the people they live with, the people they work with, they all are familiar with people that are overweight or have diabetes or have high cholesterol and high blood pressure. If you have any 2 of these issues, you have a chronic disease. You already have a chronic disease. If you have one, if you have more than one, if you have minimum of 2, you have what doctors call metabolic syndrome. And it's only going to get worse if you don't do something about it. Our program is really very simple. It talks about, don't stop eating the foods that you love, even if they're Frito chips, which I love those little Frito. I think they're the best chip out there, but I don't eat them every day. Matter of fact, I don't eat them every month. But it's the ratio that counts. And sadly, Americans have this ratio of where they're getting the calories from. We call it the FPC unhealthy ratio, the fat, the proteins, and the carbohydrates. Of all calories, the average American is getting 51% plus of their calories from carbohydrates. 16% from protein, and 34% from fats. All we're telling you is that if you continue to eat that, the science is irrefutable. You can't deny it. It will result to these type of health risks and these health conditions. You're going to get overweight eventually. You're going to have high blood pressure. You're going to get high cholesterol. Now, none of these things are a symptom of getting older. You don't get overweight because you're older. You don't become type 2 diabetic because of the years that add on to your life. That's not what age brings. What happens is you eat that ratio over a period of time and you're going to start to get those symptoms. It's kind of like getting wet. You stay in the water long enough and you're going to prune up your fingertips. You're going to get all pruny, right? And that doesn't mean that your skin's going to get pruny every time you take a shower. Right? So it's not a symptom of water on skin. It's the duration that you're in the water. It's the duration that you're in this diet of eating high carbohydrates and the wrong ratios of fat that's going to produce these kind of numbers. So watch out for that. I love food. I want you not to be afraid of food. Don't say, is this a healthy diet? Say, is this food that I'm eating accomplishing the goal that I want to achieve? And we all have different goals. It's different stages of our life. And so you got to figure out, you got to listen and learn whether this food is killing you or it's healing you, because it's one or the other and nobody's sitting in the middle. And so it's very simple. All you got to do is just change your FPC from an unhealthy red zone ratio to a green zone ratio, which is just dropping those carbs down a little bit lower, getting the right balance of proteins, and increase your healthy fats. And actually, we'll talk a little bit about those healthy fats today. It's more important than exercise. It's as important as it is, as important as it was for Callie and I to go to the gym today. It's more important to have your FPC balance. It's more important than supplements, something that we all take. You got to take that on a regular basis. If you change your FPC, you're going to change your life for the rest of your life. Okay? It happened for me. I started out over 11 years ago now at 280 pounds, a strapping younger fellow that looks older than I do now. I had over 10 chronic issues. And after 12 weeks of following the same FPC ratio that I talked to you about, I didn't have any of the symptoms. Didn't do it with medication. Didn't even do it with exercise, because I knew that most people wouldn't exercise in the beginning. And I wanted to prove to them that it actually can happen. So the choice is yours. You can change your life. All you got to do is change that ratio. Now, I told you a few weeks ago about a little flying experience that I had on my bike. I went right over the handlebars, landed on my shoulder, injured it a little bit, and had some inflammation. And I don't want it to turn into arthritis. And so how I manage that is exactly what we're talking about today, is how do we handle, how do we manage and prevent from getting arthritis as we get older. And again, arthritis is not an old age remedy or prescription or guarantee. It is living a certain lifestyle for an extended period of time, and you're going to get arthritis. It has nothing to do with age, right? It has to do with time and what you're exposing your body to. So it's not that you're getting older, right? At all. It's happening to all of us, but we can be young and arthritis free. It has to do with the foods that we're eating. And so I want to talk about the foods and how the keto diet, which is what our program is really housed in. We like to call it the hybrid ketogenic diet, because we change a little bit of balance because of clinical studies, because of what those studies actually show. So inflammation comes in a couple of different forms. Now, this is an example. This is actually a real life shot of what inflammation looks like in tissue after it's been injured. You'll see those little tiny blood vessels have been broken. That's an inflammation from an injury, kind of like my shoulder. Right? That's what it looked like inside. Looks painful, doesn't it? Now, there's different types of arthritis that we're going to talk about. There's osteoarthritis and there's rheumatoid arthritis. Now, if you can just look at that center screen, the one on the left, that's a healthy knee joint. But here in the center, you'll see that the bone is touching the bone. And that is basically what osteoarthritis is bone on bone, pretty painful, not an enjoyable time. Rheumatoid arthritis isn't having that issue. It's just more of inflammation around the joint. Now, you can have inflammation with osteoarthritis, with bone on bone, but that's only if you continue to walk on it, right? So a lot of people ask, where does inflammation come from? And how come I get it? So we're going to go over the 6 primary causes of inflammation. The first one, well, is white blood cells. That's a natural thing from your immune system. Whenever there's a foreign invader, like let's say an infection come, you cut your finger and there's some germs that got in there. They're causing some problems. That is where inflammation will come in. These white blood cells are soldiers that are fighting off that infection. Another one is tissue damage, like my shoulder. You hurt your knee. Even this morning when I went to the gym, I was hadn't done my legs for a while. Probably my least favorite muscle group, just because they're such large muscles. And then I push them and they burn and they hurt. And, I push them to failure because I want to get, see what I can do and push the envelope. And because they're bigger muscles, they hurt more. I'm a baby and I don't want it to hurt. So I'm doing little tiny micro tears of that of the muscle tissue, which is fine. That's good. That's how you build muscle. And so there's going to be some inflammation that floods down into that area. And tomorrow I'll feel sore, probably for the next couple of days. That's normal. That's one way and place that inflammation comes from. Another one is the immune system. Now that's kind of like the white blood cells that come from an infection. That's also spurned on by your immune system. Now, this immune system is attacking itself. Basically, that's what arthritis is. It's your an autoimmune system that's causing some havoc. Another source of your inflammation can come from an imbalance of microbiome. Now, you've heard us talk about microbiome before and the importance of that, and that's basically just gut bacteria. You don't have the right kind of balance of gut bacteria. Things like different strains of yogurt, for example, or fermented foods like sauerkraut. Callie's favorite. She doesn't really like it at all. Another inflammational source is environmental toxins like air pollution or mercury you can get from food or from groundwater. Those are sources of inflammation. And the last is diet and lifestyle, which is the most common. It is produced because of this master hormone insulin. And insulin is the precursor to causing inflammation. And that comes in only one place. Insulin, it comes from carbohydrates and an imbalance of omega-6. And from being immobile, not getting around and moving. So we're going to talk and focus on the last 2 for today's discussion. Now, one thing that I really want people to focus on is the fact that they say, look, Jason, you're talking about a ketogenic diet, a low carbohydrate diet. Please don't misunderstand. I'm not saying that carbs are horrible and they should be avoided at all costs. Are you kidding me? Look at that picture. There's everything on that picture I love. I love eating all those things. Even though I don't know what those things are on the bottom right-hand corner, they still look delicious and I want them. All right. What we're saying is that you have to control the amount of ratio. It's not even as much as how much you're eating. It's how much you're eating of carbs in relationship to the other macronutrients that you're eating. Fancy talk for how much protein and how much fat are you eating in relationship to that corn on the cob. For example, we have a nephew that is actually a diabetic. He's a young boy, sadly. He's type 1 diabetic. And we get together, and there's almost always corn on the cob.
And rolls.
And rolls.
And
if there's not corn on the cob because it's out of season, then he makes oatmeal. Okay. That is a terrible food for a type 1 diabetic to eat by itself. Right? And that's all he eats by himself. Now, sadly, this young boy, like a lot of kids are, he's picky. He's a picky eater. He doesn't like the other foods. And so they figure, well, I got to feed him something. So we'll just give him what he likes. And then we'll just control his glucose levels with insulin. All right? Well, for those of you that are not a diabetic, what's happening in your body when you do that is instead of taking a shot, like he has to because he doesn't make enough insulin, is your body says, well, all you had for dinner was a carbohydrate. Let's say you're trying to lose weight or you're trying to control your diet. So you have a banana or you have some fruit, or let's just say you go all out. You just get tons of fruit. You do a fruit smoothie with all the yummy fruits in there, no fats, no proteins, and you mix that up. What you're telling your body is, I just gave you a bunch of glucose. I didn't give you anything else, and no more macronutrients. And that in turn tells your body, I got to produce insulin because I got to keep those glucose levels down. And I got to get the body to absorb that glucose. And insulin's the only way to get that to happen. And what's going to happen then is insulin is the primary function to produce inflammation. Okay, so we're not fighting off germs and bacteria. We're not fighting off an injury like me crashing on my bike. Okay, what you're doing is you're flooding your body with inflammation that it has no battle that it's going to go fight. And so what happens is it just stays in your system. Long term, that is called chronic inflammation, and it is blame or things like cancer, arthritis, obesity, type 2 diabetes, the list goes on and on, acid reflux, heartburn, neuropathy, all those things are caused by chronic inflammation, long-term insulin, because of a high carbohydrate diet. All you got to do is balance it out. Okay, so let's talk about our fats. Now, omega oil is a wonderful fat. We promote that of the fats that you need to get, we want you to get a balance of omega-6. Now, when I say balance, I don't mean I want you to get an equal amounts of omega-3, an equal balance of omega-6, an equal balance of omega-7, and an equal balance of omega-9. No, that's not what our body wants. But in the world of food, you'll see here that the balance of omega-6 isn't equal. Let's just take the first one, sunflower oil. It has 66 grams of omega-6 and 0 of omega-3. So that N is the symbol for omega. And so the column on the left is omega-6. The column on the right is omega-3. And so you go down to nuts, for example. What a great, healthy treat. Walnuts, 38 to 9. Okay, that's almost 3 times greater. You go down further to apricot oil. That's a very healthy oil, 29 times higher omega-6 to 0 omega-3. Avocado oil, which we use a lot of because it can tolerate high heat, it doesn't scorch or smoke, 29 to 0, right? It keeps going down to Brazil nuts, 24 to almost 0. And you just keep going down. Sesame seeds, what a great nut. You can make some great paste with that for to replace margarine, or mayonnaise or Cool Whip on your sandwiches. That one is 21 to almost 0. Pumpkin seeds, 19 to 0. Now you get my point. Peanuts, and I like peanut butter, 16 to 0. Okay, what I'm saying here is this is the reason why, as you eat in America and you eat the foods that are in the grocery store, especially those that are prepared for you, processed foods, okay, and even natural foods, as you can see in this case, they are many times greater than omega-3. That's why a study done showed that the average American eats 23 times more omega-6 than omega-3. And that is the primary reason why we have inflammation too high. So omega-6 is good, it's healthy, but too much of a good thing is bad. So which one of these healthy foods do you eat? Now, here's another list. Poultry, eggs, those are high in omega-6. I'm not saying don't eat them. What I'm saying is for you to control chronic inflammation, arthritis, for example, in your life, you have to lower the amount of omega-6. That's exactly why in our formula of our omega oil, we give you 2.5 times more omega-3, all natural, not from fish, all from plant, 2.5 times more omega-3 than there is omega-6. And omega-6 is great. It's very healthy. It's good for you. But I'll show you a little later that omega-6 is a inflammational promoting oil, where omega-3 is exactly the opposite. Okay. One of the things that happens to omega-6 when your body takes it in, and at the current rate of 23 times, kind of like, can you believe 23 times too much of a good thing? Is that good or bad?
It can be bad.
It can be bad. If you're going to the gym once a day, and your health coach is telling you, hurrah, hooray, you're just a poster child of exercise, and then you come back all ragged and tired and tell them, yeah, I've been going to the gym 23 times a day. Matter of fact, I'm at the gym 23 hours of the day. Is that going to be too much of a good thing?
Yes.
Yeah, that's an example of too much of a good thing. Omega-6 breaks down when your body takes that fatty acid, breaks it apart. One of the side effects that happens is uric acid, right? Uric acid is the primary precursor to gout. Now, gout is a form of arthritis. And if you've ever had gout before, what it feels like is let's just take the ankle or knee, for example. Now, someone is in your ankle and it feels like they peeled back the skin to your foot, dumped in a bunch of broken glass, and then they pulled the skin back over it and then asked you to walk a mile. It feels like these sharp little, like broken glasses inside your joint. It is extremely painful. And if you look at it under a microscope, it actually looks like little shards of broken glass. They're very sharp, very painful, and that is brought about by too much omega-6 and not enough omega-3. Your balance is out. Okay, so again, here's a perfect example of how the FPC plays its part in your overall health. Lower those amounts of carbohydrates, but also lower the amount of your omega-6. Now, when we're talking about FPC, it's not enough just to get your calories increased from in your daily diet, but it's also the right kind of fats. So as you get more into our program, we tell you exactly how much, or you just take our program. You don't have to measure anything. The oil's already pre-measured for you. Okay. So some of you are wondering, all right, that sounds good. You told me what not to do. Now tell me, how do I get rid of inflammation if I already have it? Well, and forgive me for sounding so opportunistic, but this is about the best way I know. Now, I've studied and read in my career close to 1,000 clinical studies. And in those studies, it tells us the complex body mechanism that we walk around in, and there's a lot of chemistry that's going on in there. You don't have to know chemistry, but your body knows it really, really well. Of all the things that we can do, kind of like taking more or less of omega-6 and omega-3, is taking our CMR, meal replacement shake, along with our omega oil, is the simplest system to getting inflammation under control and from preventing it from ever happening. All right. You can do it by doing regular foods. You can, absolutely. I'll be the first one to tell you that. I will tell you it'll cost you more. Nutritionally, one shake of ours, which comes in at what, $3.47 a meal. I don't. You can't even get a McDonald's meal for that, and we all know that that's necessarily not achieving our health goals. $3.47 a meal for you to go to the grocery store and get the same nutritional quality, meaning the same amount of vitamins and minerals and fiber and protein and omega fats and all those, turmeric and curcumin and bioprin and all those things that we put in there, our formula. It costs you over $105.
Wow.
$105 just for one meal. Besides the fact that you couldn't hold it because it would be about 32 pounds of food. That's how much you'd have to eat to get the same concentrated level of nutrient dense that you get in the shake. So there's I don't know any simpler way. It's easy. We can mix this up in 20, 30 seconds and you're done. However, I want to tell you other ways that you can do it. So turmeric. Now, the turmeric that we put in, we had a whole program about the curcumin that we put in there. The source of it is turmeric. We use a very special patented formula, unlike any in the world. It does all of these things, the clinical research, but the one we're focusing on is arthritis, osteoarthritis in this example. It's actually been shown to help relieve bone-on-bone pain and inflammation, arthritis, when consuming it. We give you the clinical dose in every single serving of the shake. It's already mixed in there. And then taking it, just to give you an idea, is 2,000 times stronger than taking fresh fruit turmeric. You'd have to eat 2,000 times more of it, which is a lot, right? So you can get some turmeric, add it to your diet. This was backed by over 99 studies so far that it works and that it's effective. The other thing that you can do is you can lower the amount of omega-6 oils. Now, on this chart, when you're talking about inflammation, the scientific signal for that is that crazy number right in the center. It's called NF-kB signal pathway. All right. So all you need to just put in your head is that means inflammation. Well, what I've circled over there on the left, those are fatty acids that come from omega-6, and they're pro-inflammatory. All right. That means that they will promote inflammatory. High carbohydrates, food, as we talked about it. It's not the food necessarily, it's the insulin that comes when we eat high carbohydrate foods. That's what our body produces. That is pro-inflammatory. And then we talked a little bit about the body bacteria. So let me give you some clinical science of how the keto diet, our program, is anti-inflammatory and great for arthritis. Now, I read a study, and in this study, they did a pain reduction test on rats. Now, don't worry, I was a little worried that they would fry them. They call it the thermal pain test. What they do is they actually put them on these hot plates. I think we've all used a hot plate, maybe in college or camping. It's just a plate of metal that heats up. Now, they didn't heat it up so high. You can see there that the plate temperature varied from 46 to 51 degrees Celsius, right? They only kept them on there for a few seconds, and then they observed when the rats wanted to get off, right? And so in this study, those rats were put on a high carbohydrate diet, which is the black dot, and a ketogenic diet, which is the white dot. That's a 54% reduction in pains. That means that the rats on a low carb diet didn't sense the pain from the hot plate at the same time that the carbohydrate diet rats did. That's interesting. So you'll have less pain. You follow our diet program, and what I like to call it the eating program, because diet people think that they're not eating. Ours is lots of eating, but just the right kind of foods. You'll just have less pain. One of the reasons that is because of lowered amounts of insulin, but also because of high ketone levels. Now, I'm not going to go into deep science here, but just bear with me. This is the chemical signal for a ketone. There's 3 ketones that are produced, but this is the main one. It's called beta hydroxybutyrate. You can call it BHB for short. That is a ketone level that is high. And whenever they've actually seen in these rats, when it was high, their pain levels were low. They even put glucose in their bloodstream along with ketones at the same time as if it was a carbohydrate diet, and their pain levels were still low. So that's how powerful the beta hydroxybutyrate ketone is for lowering pain levels. Now, again, how do you get BHB? Go on a ketogenic diet. That's the natural way to do it. Your body will produce the levels on its own. So why is a 3 Believe Eating diet, our program, so effective? The studies show that reduced glucose levels is a key barometer of energy metabolism. Now, there's something called the NADH-NAD plus ratio. And all that basically means is that there's a balance between these two barometers that will activate how high your pain levels are, right? Because when they're out of balance, it will, or when it's balanced properly, it will activate a protein called CTBP, and that protein will go out and actively suppress inflammation genes. So even if inflammation is already in the area, if you have low glucose, which is follow our program, and you have ketone levels, it will make this protein in your body go out and it will suppress inflammation production and genes from making more of it. This is fantastic. This is exactly what we want to lower our pain levels. So there's 2 basic types of inflammation. There's acute and there's chronic. We talked a little bit about it in the beginning of the program. I want you to understand that acute is something that's going to happen all the time. That's what happened when I fell off my bike. I injured it, inflammation came in, said, let me rescue you, I'll fix it, all right? That's temporary. Acute is something that all of us needs. Acute is a short-term issue. It's not always bad. What happens is when our acute turns into long-term chronic pain. So chronic pain or chronic inflammation is just basically acute that has lasted more than a few days or a week, right? So let me give you an example of the worst thing you can do. The worst thing I could have done when I wrecked on my bike, when I had inflammation, is that night or that afternoon, I went and had a spaghetti dinner, drank some Coke, had some ice cream, and then chow down on some a candy bar. Okay, what is that? All those carbs going to do? It's going to create glucose. Glucose is going to create inflammation. Inflammation is going to create more swelling. And I continue on that diet, and I'm telling my body, keep the inflammation around, and which is high carbohydrate food. They actually prolong their recovery process. It takes longer to heal just because of the food you're eating. So don't do that. Don't give yourself chronic disease. It's not what you want. So the simplest way is just hop on our program. It's cost effective. It tastes delicious. You'll feel great, and you'll keep your inflammation levels low. I will tell you, I've been doing a little bit of experiment lately. I have been really pushing my shoulder in rehabilitation, so it's sore a lot. And so I had been, admittedly, I don't like it, but I had been taking ibuprofen, to keep this inflammation down while I'm working out and while I'm punishing it, trying to get it stronger. And so I was reading this study that I tell you about, the BHB, like the ketone. And so I've been taking extra. I'm already in a ketogenic diet, but I'm taking extra ketones. And so these extra ketones that I'm taking, the BHB, I've actually noticed the same level of pain reduction that I get when I take ibuprofen. That is amazing. So I'm going to continue to take that, stop taking the ibuprofen. And plus, it's healthier for me, and keeps me in a higher level of ketosis. And so I'll give you more research on that as it develops. The other way that you can keep your inflammation level down is exercise. Get your body moving. Get your lymphatic system moving, that system out of your body so that your inflammational levels can lower. And then the last one is sleep. Boys and girls, you got to get your sleep in. But you got to get in at least 7 hours of sleep a day. If you don't, there's a host of other reasons why your recovery and weight loss and overall well-being won't, you won't be getting what you want. So anything else, Callie?
It looks like we have a question here by Robert.
Oh.
The question is, with the 3Believe product, I do not feel the pain, but does this interim cause harm to our bone condition, or does this product reduce the pain and helps to stop the inflammation in our joints?
Okay, that's a good question. Let's just say that you have bone on bone, and you had that before you get on the program, and then you notice that your pain level is subsiding. Well, there's two things that are happening. The primary cause of osteoporosis, bone on bone, is not inflammation, but if you continue to walk on it, which we all have to walk, so you just live with the pain and then take pain pills, there's going to be also inflammation around the area, right? Swelling, in other words. So you're going to get both. You're going to have kind of like osteoporosis and rheumatoid arthritis both at the same time. So your question is, how does the program, our meal replacement, help with that? Well, it'll lower the amounts of inflammation because you're not causing it by insulin, and you're turning on that protein that's suppressing the inflammatory genes. That's another one. And you're increasing your BHB. Now, the combination of that, it will actually help. It's not going to grow new cartilage in your knee. However, it will fill that area with some non-inflammational fluid, but it'll help fill that area with kind of a mucus that will help give a little relief. And how you know that's there is because the pain goes away, just like you're expressing here. It happened to you. You're doing the same thing. as you also lose weight, you're putting less weight on the joint, and so that's not going to push the knee together so abruptly and with so much tension, and so it won't cure the by creating new cartilage, but it will suppress the pain. You're not doing more damage because the lowered amount of pain is not because of medication like it would with the pain pill. It's because the pain's just not there. That means that the nerves are not being pressured or stimulus because the inflammation is not there. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So you're not going to do more damage by taking it because it's not a pain medication. You're not covering up the pain while it's still grinding away, making your bone in a worse state. And if you have rheumatoid arthritis, well, that can be completely relieved if you lower the amount of inflammation because we don't have a bone-on-bone issue.
Great.
All right, great question.
Great
Callie, I think you have some stuff you wanted to go over. We've been making some improvements to our website. Tell us about all this cool stuff that we've been doing.
So, there's some improvements to the website and also some other cool things happening as well. So I'm going to go over, completely kind of change the subject and go a different direction here. So what's new with Tree Believe? So I want to point out, we've been getting a lot of questions saying, hey, where can I print out the phase sheets? The phase sheets where it's a guideline to the wellness program. We have...
You mean like phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, okay.
etc. Yeah, 3 and 4. So I screenshot phase 1. So if you are familiar with our new website design, which has been up for a couple of months now, it's a long form type page. If you scroll down to the ketogenic hybrid diet section, it will list out phase 1, and I'll have infographics and things like that. In that phase 1 picture, which looks like kind of what is shown here, you can actually click on download print phase 1.
So when you see the word download, that's actually a hyperlink that they can push on, and they can right then it'll take them to a PDF document that they can download to their computer.
Right. So you actually, the hyperlink is week 1. That's your very first week, the week 2 and phase 1, right? So click on week 1 or click on week 2. That will bring up a PDF format, and then you can either download to your computer or print it off. And the same goes to the phase 2 section. You can download, print the phase 2, and then there goes phase 3. And
so what is
4.
on the week 1? What kind of information is that they're going to find when they go to that?
The week 1, the very first week 1 is going to be
what they eat, in the morning.
What is approved on the food list,
what
and then week 2,
proteins do you eat? You mean vegetables,
right? Vegetables,
like
proteins, and everything like that. I mean, it's a guideline to your the wellness program, which people have been asking about. Where they went because they were on the old site. Now we've actually added them to the new website. So you can go download, share, whatever you want to do. So the next thing that we have actually implemented are the videos. So people are saying, I'm clicking on day 1 or day 2 or day 3 about the guidelines of what the first 7 days will be like on the wellness program. So we actually have added that to the website. It's a cool feature. It won't take you to another page. All you have to do is click the play button, and it'll play right there on the website.
So how I would use this is kind of cool. So if I wanted to say, hey, I've been on this, someone says, Jason, you look great. You're doing wonderful. You're still not a good dancer, but you look healthy. What have you been doing? And I'll say, well, I follow this diet regimen, this eating diet, and well, you know what, instead of me just telling you go to this website and click on the video, click on first week, and you go through every single day. You'll day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4, day 5, all the way through days. It'll tell you what you're going to experience as if you were on the diet, so you already know in advance what the program's
what
going to be like.
to expect.
That's a great way to introduce someone to the program.
Yes, definitely.
Cool.
So those have been added. Yes, we're continuing working through the process of the updating more features to the website. It's a work in progress. Thanks for your patience on this adventure that we are doing. So
now, because I'm not hip on all the new terms you mentioned in the beginning, you said it's a long form style. What does that mean? Our site's a long form.
So if you click on any of the tabs at the beginning, at the top of the website page, it will take you to a section of that same page. It will not redirect you to another page. So you can keep scrolling. If you don't want to click on any of the links above, you can just keep scrolling and scrolling and scrolling and scrolling, kind of like Facebook. Like you keep scrolling.
Because I know there's some websites that I go to, and they have some great information, but then I'll click into one and it takes me to a different part. And by the time I've clicked it 3 or 4 times, I don't even know where I am anymore. I can't get back to the main page. So you're saying everything
is on the
front page. It's long, but it's easy because you don't get lost. The only place, if you want to find yourself, you just scroll up or scroll down and you're right back at home base again.
Right.
Okay.
Right. So those are new features added to the website. Next, we have the 3believe.com. We have scrolling social media icons. If you go to the 3believe.com, you will see on the left-hand side the social media icons. Now, I'm going to go over those right now as far as what we have done with our social media. I've been implementing some cool techniques. I've been doing some testing and things like that. So, getting the social media aspect out there is great for all of us. So I've actually been wanting to do this. It will be a great opportunity for the 3Believe family to have a wellness support group. So it's a group within Facebook. So this is a Facebook social media wellness group. So in order to join the group, because it is a closed group, we want people who, support each other, who are on this journey with 3Believe. But, you have a lot of questions. Sometimes, Jesus and I are too busy with some of the emails that are flooded with and our support email. Now, this is a great way to support each other, our neighbors, our family, our friends, if they join the group. Strangers, there's a couple of support groups that I belong to on Facebook, and it's a great way to ask sorts of different questions because one person's lifestyle or symptoms or anything will resonate with another person. And so then the admin can get on and answer any of those type of questions as well. So in order to join the group, there's 2 questions to join, specific questions to the 3Believe Wellness Program. And then it's a great way to help support each other. So, and to go to find this support group.
So everybody here join it?
Yes. If you're on the call, when we will send out the link to the video tomorrow, I'll send out all the links to all of our social media and including the support group. Okay.
So that's the challenge for everybody is by the end of this call, go to Facebook and join the group. Right.
Well, go to 3Believe, go join the page, and then there should be a group, 3Believe Wellness Support group. Okay.
And so they have to join that group because if it's 3Believe by another name, then it's an individual's.
Right. And it's called 3Believe Wellness Support.
Okay.
Group. Yep.
3Believe Wellness Support.
Yes. Go check it out, join, and then we'll definitely promote it and things like that. So the next this is also with Facebook. So I'm saying help us help you. So people have lots of great stories, testimonials that they have, but we want to get Three Believe recognized. And when you're promoting the business, it just is going to help your business grow as well. So these are a couple of examples that some people have actually have tagged. Now you can tag a friend or any other, anybody, but you can tag a business. To tag a business in Facebook, you have to put @3believe. So, and then you can write your great experience, your love for the foods, your love for the wellness program, your testimony, and
so you're saying it's kind of like writing a letter. So if I was to write you a letter, I'd say, "Dear Callie," and then I'd write the letter. So you're saying when you're in Facebook and you want to tag Three Believe corporate site, you, instead of saying "Dear Callie," you say @3believe.
Believe.
That's just the same as saying "Dear
Jason."
Yeah.
So
now, what does a tag do? Why do we want to tag? What benefits do we get from tagging?
Well, it will then pop up on your own personal news feed for your people to see what you're doing. You've had this great experience, or you want to just share something that Three Believe has helped you with, overcome cholesterol, high cholesterol, diabetes, or any type of ailments, or you just have lots of energy, sleeping great. I mean, anything you could think of.
And so I tag Three Believe so that if someone doesn't know me,
right,
but they go to the Three Believe site, that's how they'll see my post, right?
Well, the Three Believe, like the Facebook page?
Yeah.
No, they actually don't. You will be recognized on your own feed, right? So when you go to say you want to introduce your business or your great success, you do the Three Believe, and then what you want to do is put your special link down below and then we will see it on our end with Three Believe. And then people can go click on, the Three Believe Facebook page and see whatever cool business that we are, right?
You just want to do it because you'll get more exposure.
Right, exactly.
And more exposure means more people means more business.
Right.
And more business means just more.
Right. So we do have an Instagram page.
So this is a different platform.
This is a
moving away from Facebook. We're going right to Instagram.
Yes, Instagram is the new popular thing.
Got to get on it.
Got to get on it. So to go find us, you can simply type in Three Believe or threebelieve.diet. That is our page. Been posting regularly, about 2 or 3 posts a week. This is a great way to also share and comment. People comment, "Hey, I love the program." The thing is, that's just more exposure to you. And because then it will show on your feed. I mean, it's more exposure to Three Believe and to you within the business. So that's another way of social media. We actually have
a
YouTube
now
page.
You're moving to another social media,
which is YouTube. So those 3 icons that I showed you, talked about Facebook, I talked about Instagram, and we have a YouTube page. This is where all of the videos that we're currently doing now, every Tuesday, are uploaded. Go to youtube.com, search Three Believe Inc. That is our YouTube page. Subscribe to it, and then you'll get the newest updated videos that we actually upload every Tuesday. We will upload this video today. So if you don't want to wait for the email, go to our YouTube page and go subscribe to it, and then you'll see all the videos that we have actually posted on our channel.
So what's the reason why you wouldn't want to wait for us to email it to you tomorrow?
If you want to share it with some of your people that you've invited to the call.
No, they don't want to wait tomorrow.
They don't want to wait.
Send it right now. You can do it. You can beat us to the punch by going to YouTube. How long should they wait?
I would probably wait about a couple hours, 2 or 3 hours.
Because sometimes it takes an hour for YouTube to upload our video.
Rendering, and sometimes if we have to edit things, YouTube takes forever. So sometimes it can take up to an hour to actually upload those edits. So It's always posted the same day. We always upload it the same day. It's a great way for you to get a jump start on sharing the video, and go look at all of the videos. I counted like 25. There's a lot. There's all the videos from, when Jason did them on Thursday nights. A lot of great information you can find there. I think they have actually been properly, like the subject line has been updated properly to what we're talking about. So it's easier.
Material.
Right. Right. So those are our social media and website updates. It's continuing process, coming from the mortgage world to the marketing world that I have kind of dived into. It's a whole another type of language. So, I'm learning things every day, trying to implement it, trying to make it, useful for you guys. And then there's more to come. So stay tuned.
Great.
All right. Anything
I love
else?
it. Thank you very much. That's so hopefully you can see our progress, all there for your support, for your education, for you to promote your business with the great products and information and system that we have.
Right. All right. See you next week.
So until next week, live well, keep your inflammation levels down, and get out and move. Winter's coming. And let's have our prayers for the people on the East Coast, hoping that the hurricane does not do too much damage and does not take any life. God bless all of them, and God bless you.
All right. Take care.